Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to the FS Football channel. And today we are back with another video, and today we are discussing what went wrong in the England versus Scotland game and what we learned from that game. Let's get into it. So of course, yesterday we did draw 0-0 with Scotland in Euro 2020 in what was a very, very poor game. Of course, we did do a watch along for that game. It was just boring, wasn't it? And for me, I think this taught us and showed us some important things that, look, I think we already kind of knew it, but I think this really confirmed it for us. And some of these things are unpopular, and some people will be unwilling to admit these are problems, but they are. And I think the first one is something we all can see, something we knew going into the tournament, and has only been further confirmed. And that is that, number one, Gareth Southgate is not good enough. And I think, look, a lot of things will surround this idea that Gareth Southgate isn't good enough to be manager, but that's where we're going to start. It's just questioning and baffling some of his decision making. How did Raheem Sterling stay on that pitch for 90 minutes? Sterling can be as good or bad as however you think. He did not have a good game yesterday. He didn't. I thought he played well against Croatia. People gave him stick. I said he played well. Against Scotland, he was awful. How did he play for 90 minutes? Again, I understand starting him, but how did he last 90 minutes? In the first game, Kieran Trippier starting left back. Questionable. Why is our fullbacks not bombing forward? Literally, Reece James and Luke Shaw and Kieran Trippier, all fantastic at going forward. Kyle Walker even as well. All fantastic going forward, yet we don't see them going forward. They sit so deep compared to what we see them do for the Premier League. Luke Shaw's always up and down for Manchester United, but he weren't for England. Which makes me question, if Trent Alexander-Arnold didn't get injured, what would Trent be doing? Because Trent would just will get forward and has to get forward because that's his game. And he was in the squad. But yet we're not getting our fullbacks really high and going to attack games. And against Croatia, when it was Trippier at left back, I and many other people thought, oh, Trippier's not going forward, not because Southgate has told him not to, but because he's not left-footed, so he'd have to cut in. So play a little bit deeper, he has the option to play it on his right more times than not. But no, Luke Shaw hardly got forward. In the second half more so, for sure. But not enough. Nowhere near as often as we saw with him at Manchester United. It's just baffling. And what makes that even more confusing is throughout a load of friendlies, we've played a five at the back system. What does that promote? It promotes your two fullbacks or wing backs getting forward. And yet now we're not doing it. It's bizarre. It really, really is bizarre. And then this is going to move on to my next point. This system does not work. The 4-2-3-1 does not work. Currently what we've seen obviously four defenders. We've seen the right back and left back not really get forward. They get forward sometimes, sure, but nowhere near enough for me. We see two defensive midfielders in Phillips and Rice in front of the back four. No real mobility there. Obviously, they're alright, but they're not players that want to get the ball and want to dribble forward. Look, I watched the Portugal-Hungary game, and I was saying throughout that game, take off a William Carvalho or Danilo Pereira and bring on a Renato Sanchez, who will get the ball and will look up and try to dribble. Within Phillips and Rice, we have a very similar combo to William Carvalho and Danilo Pereira. The difference in the Portugal-Hungary game is that Renato Sanchez came on. He's able to dribble. He's good at dribbling. And he's able to beat a man with dribbling. And allows you to get it forward. Rice and Phillips ain't that. They are not that. And that holds us down. It means by the time we get to the front line, so often or not, teams are back. Teams are back and then we're trying to break teams down. And then this goes on to my next point. Harry Kane's not good enough at the moment. Harry Kane is not good enough at the moment. Everyone keeps saying we're not creating chances for Harry Kane. Well, how about Harry Kane be in the box? I mean, how many times have we seen Sterling run for on goal? Or Foden get a chance or Mount get a chance? Why is that not Harry Kane? Because he's not in the box. Because Harry Kane, what he's doing, he's dropping so deep. He's dropping to try and get involved in the play far too much when we've got players like a Mason Mount that will do that. And when Harry Kane drops so deep, who do you think's filling that void? Raheem Sterling's going. So we're kind of losing our left winger in a sense in Raheem Sterling because he's now filling in the void for Harry Kane. Our fullbacks aren't getting forward either, really. Phil Foden playing out on the right. He wants to come inside. Mount obviously is playing inside already. So we end up having very little width. So we don't create anything. And look, what you want from Harry Kane, obviously at some point you do want him to drop deep. But when you are playing this 4-2-3-1, you don't need Kane dropping deep. You want him on the last line. Because Mount's doing that job. Mason Mount's dropping deep, getting the ball off the defensive midfielders and bringing it forward. So why is Harry Kane doing it? Or trying to do it? Because he doesn't even do it, really. It means we lose something up top. And then this follows nicely on to my next point. Jack Grealish has to play. He has to play. He is our best player. I've said this. I remember we played Belgium. It was a friendly, might have been like a Nations League or some stupid tournament. We played Belgium. Jack Grealish played. I think he might have been his England debut. He was our best player. And ever since, I've said he's our best player. Jack Grealish is England's best player. He came off the bench and was a danger. He was a threat. Every time he got the ball, he was positive. He looked up, tried to beat his man, and usually did well. Won a few free kicks. He was brilliant when he came on, Jack Grealish. He has to start every game. And Jack Grealish is a player that can play out wide and will stay out wide. Of course, he will come in centrally. But he can stay out wide and stretch the game. And I think we need to see more of Jadon Sancho as well on the right. Get Jadon Sancho, who again will stay wide, will spread the play and will take a man on and get chances for Harry Kane if he's in the box. Whether he or not he's in the box, obviously Sancho can't help that. But he will create chances for him, as will Jack Grealish. I don't care if you have a Mason Mount at 10 or you go to a 4-3-3 and you have Mount with a Henderson and a Rice in midfield, which is, I think, what we should do. I think you take Phillips out, put Rice at DM, put a Henderson in box to box. Preferably it would have been James Ward-Prowse, but he's not been taken. So you have Rice at DM, you have Henderson in the box to box role, and you have Mason Mount who looks to get forward in kind of that advanced playmaker / Mazzala role if you play Football Manager. And that, I think, it will give us more stability. You have Mason Mount playing deeper, so he can be the one to bring the ball forward because he is a dribbler. He will want to get the ball and bring it forward for his team. Henderson can kind of do that as well, but at the same time he's a bit dogged. And look, he's a leader in that midfield, which I think we might be missing. At times, this midfield, it looks to go backwards or sideways before we look to go forward. Roy Keane said it after the game, and I think he's right. There's too many times where I saw Calvin Phillips first time to giving it to the centre-backs when there was other options, when he could have got hold of the ball and brought it forward and dribbled it out a little bit. And then, finally, I really do think this is a missed opportunity. Before the tournament, a lot of us said, look, Gareth Southgate's not a great manager. If we do go on to do well in this tournament, it will be because of the players and this golden generation that we have. And despite Southgate, not because of him. And I think it's going to come to that again. We were awful against Croatia. We managed to scrape a goal. Again, against Scotland. Scotland should have beat us today. Well, yesterday. That's not good enough. And for me, it shows. I don't care how well Southgate gets on in this tournament. If he wins it, brilliant. What a way to go out. But he should not be in charge of another tournament after this. He can win it. He could go out in the group stage. He should be let go of. He should be sacked. He should be demoted to under-23 manager again after, is it Aidy Boothroyd? Did awfully at the under-21 championships. Southgate has to go. And the longer Southgate is in charge of this England squad, the longer we are letting this golden generation of talent go to waste. Anyway, that's going to be it from me today. If you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button below. Subscribe if you are new and you haven't already. And I'll see you all in the next one in a bit. Peace.